Hello Mountaineers, Jordan from Mountway Finance here. I'm bringing you this video on the 6th of May, right after our recent rate rise to highest levels since COVID. 4.35% is the RBA cash rate now. We haven't seen that since November 2023. Of course, when all these things are talking about, there's always a precedent, whatever. But anyway, high rates, that's what we're seeing. Possibly more to come. So we talk a lot about sort of buffers, options, that kind of thing. These are ways in which you can either absorb or step around the challenges life throws at you, like increasing interest rates and higher costs of everything. But there are also ways in which you can just make sure that you have all of the leaks in your ship plugged, right? Budget leaks. You may have heard of this concept, budget leaks, right? This is like the coffee you didn't need to buy, the cake you didn't need to buy either, which went with our coffee. Unnecessary expenditure, blah, 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 blah. These are budget leaks. We're probably familiar with that concept. But what about the opportunities that you don't capitalize on, even the very small ones? 1%ers. Save the pennies so you can spend the pounds, says the old wisdom. And I thoroughly subscribe to old wisdom. It's old wisdom for a reason. Just because we have modern stuff doesn't mean old wisdom doesn't still matter, right? Let's talk about offset accounts. There is conjecture around whether offset accounts actually help you pay off debt faster or keep debt around for longer. I completely disagree with that conjecture. Offset accounts are about keeping your optionality. You have a loan, you have savings that sit against that loan. And every dollar of those savings do two things. They are buffers. They are buffers you can draw upon when times get tough. And of course, spending your savings doesn't feel nice. It's still a buffer nonetheless. But the other thing it's doing is it's reducing the cost to you over a lifetime. No one actually spends 30 years paying back a home loan. No one does. Well, I mean, perhaps some people do, but most people pay off a home loan in well less than half of that time. The point is, usually there's more cash available, income available to pay above the minimum repayment. Now, what happens to that money? If it just goes into the house and pays off the loan and you never get access to it again, then that represents a lack of liquidity, right? You earn your money, you put it on the home loan, you don't have any savings and you don't have any buffer. But I guess your debt has gone down and your net wealth in terms of all the things you own minus all the things you owe does improve. But you still get that outcome with an offset account. And you still get the outcome of saving yourself the cost of interest. So if you have surplus cash flow to throw in to the loan at above the minimum repayment, then an offset account allows you to achieve the same outcome as just simply paying the loan off, as well as the buffer and the flexibility of having access to that cash. So what does this mean in a rising interest rate? What is the 1% you can do with the offset facility? Well, it's quite simple. Make sure every dollar that you have hits that offset account as soon as possible, because the interest on a loan is calculated daily. It is charged monthly, but the balance of your loan is calculated daily, right? So this means, for example, if you're paid by your employer into an account that sits over here in another bank and it's not connected to your offset facility, and it takes you a day every paycheck to transfer that money in, then, okay, and if you're paid weekly, there's 52 days in the year when your paycheck is not actually offsetting the interest because it doesn't sit in that account. One of the very first and most important things you can and should do is to tell your employer to start to pay your money, your income, into your offset account. So when you get your loan for the first time, set up your offset account, you have a new account number, send that off to your payroll. Make sure that they pay that money in. You lose a day and you therefore lose the cost of that. The cost is incurred each and every day that that money isn't sitting in your account. Likewise, if you're, let's say, I've got a credit card, okay? Don't pay it early, pay it on the day it's due. Because when that money leaves your offset account, it's no longer offsetting the interest on your home loan. And it doesn't help you to pay off the credit card early. It doesn't help you to pay off the credit card late either. But it does help you to pay off the credit card on the day. And in modern banking terms of BPay and all that sort of thing, there's no excuse for not being able to just set up your payments to make sure it happens on the day. Other things that can work for you. Savings, okay? This goes down to this kind of like, perhaps it's a barefoot investor structure, you know, like you got multiple different sort of accounts for different things. They should all exist under an offset facility, what they call multiple offsets, where you have several accounts, all doing different things, all holding money for different purposes, but they all come within one offset facility, and the cash that accumulates in aggregate across those accounts are offsetting the cost of interest. The key here is, whether in your rising interest rates or not, every dollar that you have should be in offset as soon as possible for as long as possible. There's no other greater secret to pay off debt faster and, I like to say, to reduce the lifetime cost of debt as fast as possible than to ensure that your money is hitting offset or hitting that loan as soon as it can for as long as it can. So that's my suggested 1%er for managing rising interest rate costs in this crazy volatile world we live in at the moment. For more real life and practical tips on finance, click the link in bio, make a comment, send us an email, do whatever it is, but we want to have more people following, liking, sharing this channel. This is stuff everybody needs to know. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.